Hello everyone, I am Buck WSR Weezer. We're putting the do into do-it-yourself. This is Big Red. And we've got another video today with Buck's small engine DIY channel on YouTube. It's something of a departure from my usual small engine lawnmower, lawn tractor type project. But I don't know, this might actually qualify as a small engine because this Ford F-150 from 2003 has the 4.2 liter V6 engine, which is about as small an engine as they put into a full-size pickup. It runs great, and today we are going to change out the manual transmission fluid. I'm going to show you how to do that. So yeah, this truck has 192,000 miles and it's got a 5-speed manual transmission. There's the shifter. I love this truck. It runs great. I also love it because it's simple. It's your entry-level model. Look at this. Hand crank windows. There's no power door locks. There's no power windows. I don't have a key fob. It's old school and it really suits me. So I've had it for less than a year. I have no idea if or when the manual transmission fluid was ever changed, so I want to do that today, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Let's take a look at what we need. Obviously a drain pan and some rags. Got some gloves, and I got a 24-inch socket on the end of my 1/2-inch drive long ratchet. Both the fill plug and the drain plug are 24 millimeter. Now I've got a transfer pump. That hand transfer pump is what we're going to use to fill it, because it's hard to access otherwise. And of course there's our fluid. What you're going to find interesting is that this is a manual transmission, but it takes synthetic automatic transmission fluid, and I decided to go with the Mobile 1. It calls for the whatever Ford's automatic transmission fluid is, Mercon, and it was upgraded to Mercon 5. I think I'm going with Mobile 1. I've always loved Mobile 1 oil. I use it all the time, and I think their transmission fluid is going to be just as satisfying. Now, if you want to do yourself a favor, you probably get the front end of your truck off the ground. That'll make it a little bit easier, but you can do it, as I'm going to attempt to do, without lifting the truck, as long as you're able to deal with the claustrophobia and tight spaces under there. But I think I'll be able to do it this way. It's going to be pretty hard to show you the whole process, but I'll take the camera underneath and show you what it's all about. So let's get started. Okay, so we're under the truck and I got some light shining up on the transmission. What it looks like. And we got a drain plug. Happily, it's marked drain. And then up there, the fill plug, which also is marked fill. So that's pretty handy. And it's illuminated by a nice work light that my wife gave me at Christmas time. So I'm going to crack open that drain pan, or drain plug, put our pan under it, and catch the old stuff. That's our first step. Okay, we're draining. I cracked it loose with the 24 mil. And there you go. Looks pretty dark. It's probably a pretty good guess that it hasn't been done in a while. Awesome. Here's a look at the drain plug. And as you can see, it's got a magnet on the end, which now has accumulated some metal shavings. We definitely want to clean those off before we reinstall it. But it's doing its job, right? Alright, let's get rid of the old fluid. Carefully. And then yeah, it's pretty dark. I'd say this hasn't been done in a long time. My truck's going to be happy. I wanted to dump it and then use the drain pan sort of as a catch pan when we go to fill it, in case I end up spilling, which is entirely possible. All right, so get rid of that, wipe the pan out, and then I'll meet you under the truck for our next step. All right, so I'm going to fill through the fill hole. I've already removed the fill plug with a 24mm socket, just like your drain plug. And I'm going to use this hand transfer pump. Cheap little pump from Harbor Freight Tools, works good. And bear with me here, I've snaked the line up, and now you can see it sticking in the fill plug. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. I'm gonna put the drain pan underneath of it in case I spill it. I think the capacity of the transmission is 3.75 quarts. And I've got 4 quarts, but I'm going to lose some, you know, the stuff that gets stuck in the pump or in the lines. So I think by pumping 4 quarts, we'll end up with 3.75 in the transmission. And of course, there's no real danger of overfilling, because if it's filled too much, it'll just weep out of the fill plug. So I'm not really worried about that. So let's crank open our bottles of Mobile1 ATF and we'll get started here. Okay, so here's the strategy. I got my transfer pump ready, as you know. I'm going to add the 4 quarts to this bucket and pump straight out of here. I think that might be easier than trying to pump out of the individual bottles. Stand them upside down to drip out a little bit. So there's this guy on YouTube who decides to fill his manual transmission from inside the cab. Come on here. He takes the gear shifter off and fills it that way, which I guess has some advantages, and I thought about doing that. The one disadvantage of that method, however, is you really won't know if you're filled. Filling it this way from below, you won't risk overfilling it, because it'll weep out the fill plug, the fill hole, once it's full. So, as inconvenient as it might seem to pump it in, I think that's probably the better way to go about it. Yeah, so I'm a fan of Mobile1. They were the first ones, I think, to make synthetic motor oil. Of course, since then, everyone else has jumped on the bandwagon, and every brand has synthetic, even the generic brands. And it's sometimes hard to find conventional motor oil even if you want it. And I guess there's some situations in which you would. Like after rebuilding an engine or something like that. All right, I think we're about ready to pump this in. All right, take a quick peek under there. I think we're still good to go. ready? So I got the hose clamped to the side of the bucket. I'm going to take my time and not force it in too quickly. But it's working, I can tell that. That's it. Now I think it's leaking out, so I think we're full. Yeah, it's leaking out. It was missing the drain pan. I had to rush under there and rearrange it. All right, that's perfect then. So I know we're full. I'll just let it drip out the fill plug, and then go under and put the the plug on the hole, and we'll be done. Okay, so there's our fill tube, and I've pulled it out, put the plug on up there for the fill, and I just got to pull that tube out of here, wipe down the bottom of the transmission, and this job will be done. Alright guys, that's it. It's not a hard job to change out the transmission fluid in the manual transmission. This would be true for the Ford late 90s to mid 2000s. I'm not really sure of the date range. But I think we did a good job, so I thank you for watching. Hopefully it was of help to you, and you're very kind to put up with my rambling about whatever I was talking about. I don't know. But I'm really glad to have it done. Your comments and questions are appreciated. I will look forward to seeing you all on our next video. Bye-bye.